Let's stop for a minute and reflect on what's been taking place. I promise it will explain a little bit more about what we've been talking about and what's going on. In the past 3 months, have you wondered about all the inconsistencies that go along with the COVID-19 rules and regulations? What about the social distancing practiced in one place, but not in others? Why are we wearing masks when doctors tell us that masks don't help prevent disease, but are actually harmful? The reason is that new systems are being put into place, systems that use recognition software, and they're being used in places where we shop, move around, and recreate. You might have noticed that there are places where there are multiple restrictions on the number of people allowed, or the need for face masks and keeping apart from each other. In the last few months, we have entered into a new phase of teaching and assisting deep learning systems. Deep learning has been combined with recognition software and cameras, and in the case of the grocery store, the software that keeps track of what you buy, when and how often you buy it. All of this gets put into predictive modeling and big data software to create a profile of you, what you look like, not just your face, but your entire body, how you move, where you go, and what you buy. The restrictions on our movement, the masks, and the social distancing allows the software to isolate our individual faces, bodies, and behavior to learn, identify, and store this information. Now I know this may be hard to understand, but why do you think all those small businesses closed during the COVID pandemic? Why have buildings and stores been looted and burned in cities all over the country? It's not because of a virus, and it certainly isn't because yet another person of color was killed by the police. I'm sorry to say that part of the answer is about what we just talked about. It's about getting rid of legacy systems. If you knock out businesses that can't afford to use the systems being put into place, this not only means more profit for corporations that can afford these systems, but it also means these systems will be the only system. There will not be room for alternatives. Small businesses are unpredictable and messy when it comes to streamlining the supply chain. Corporations, on the other hand, are designed to keep those systems running smoothly. And those images of big box stores like Target being looted or burned, well, why will we need stores when AI can predict what and when you're going to buy and then send it to you? Why are we seeing images of police stations being abandoned and burned? And why are we seeing video of police behaving in brutal ways? Could it be another legacy system that will be replaced? Is this a giant PR campaign to manipulate you, to demand police reform? What comes from that? We think something much worse. All our legacy systems are now going away. The old way of doing things are now outmoded by the people in charge, the ruling class. The way and where we work, how we shop for food, and things in our lives, how we live, where we live, how we learn, communicate, associate, and entertain are now going away. We are experiencing the Great Reset. Although it may seem like it, this is not the end of the world, but it is the end of life as you've always known it. This isn't doomsday talk. This is the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
At the turn of the 19th century, artisans and craftspeople produced everyday products by hand. Nothing was mass-produced, and entrepreneurs were primarily the producers of the products or the masters of their craft, employing a few laborers in the shop. The products were built under the supervision and approval of the master craftsmen.
The First Industrial Revolution was a radical disruption to that previous means of production by mechanizing the artisans and craftspeople into attendants to a machine under the supervision of the factory owner. The machine in turn created the products while the people maintained the flow of the production line. The second industrial revolution was the electrification of the world. People could be even more productive because work time was extended into the night, and factories could work around the clock with workers producing in shifts. People who worked in offices could work longer hours because workspaces could be lit when the sun went down, and more consumer products changed the way household work could be done, which created a market for these products and took away jobs from domestic help in middle-class homes and put the unpaid labor on the shoulders of the woman of the house. Computers led the third industrial revolution by speeding up everything from workflow to communications. What promised to be a paperless society turned into one that produced endless printed reports from cheap printers using endless reams of paper. People worked even longer hours, while waste and economic disparity grew despite the promise of a better, more democratic world with more leisure and less waste. The better world did come about, but only for those on the right side of the digital divide. It got better yet for the very wealthy, who became even more wealthy as they were able to siphon more and more wealth to the top via the efficiency and speed of computers brought to the world of finance, production, communication, transportation, education, and life in general. The ruling class had found a way to make more money from just creating more money, digitally, thus truly becoming what they labeled themselves as, wealth creators.
The fourth industrial revolution, like its predecessors, will disrupt society, not only how you work, but how you live. In all the previous industrial revolutions, the means of making money were the factories and machines that made products, the capital, in other words. And humans helped those machines do that. We will continue that role in the fourth industrial revolution, but this time, a lot of that labor will be for free. Not only that, we've been doing it for at least 15 years and didn't know it because it was disguised as social media, online shopping, and online search. People throughout the world have become teachers to the machines, providing hours of unpaid labor to Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Amazon. The mechanization of the fourth industrial revolution, however, has not been to produce products. That part is a given and will continue with or without people involved. The real revolution here is what is mechanized. And what will that be? It will be the mechanization of our essence of who we are, our ability to recognize and understand each other, our ability to translate ideas and language, our ability to negotiate, and most importantly, our ability to trust. In the past 15 years, computing power, storage capacity, and speed have increased greatly to the point that a pocket-sized storage device can hold 2 or more terabytes of data, more than the contents of the Library of Congress in one little box. Along with the increase in storage and speed has come what's been called deep neural net or deep learning, in which software that can continuously teach itself which algorithms are best at predicting whatever it wants to predict. This deep learning is part of what is known as artificial intelligence, or AI. But the gooey chocolate strawberry syrup on top is the free human labor input into these networks via social media and internet search. There's a reason that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the Google products are available to us for free. It's because we are giving these systems what they need to achieve the goal of speeding up the process of producing to selling. It's been a strange past few months, and some people still believe that a virus is out there lurking, ready to kill everyone in its wake. And still more people believe that a huge wave of social justice is taking place. But what's really happening is much larger, and we are all allowing it to go on. We expect to see more events like the protests and the riots and the identity themes changing and shaped out as necessary. Along with that, we expect other crises like COVID coming at us in the next 6 to 12 months. What is being put into place while we pay attention to this other stuff, and while we've been staying inside during curfews and lockdowns and limitations of our movement, will be the next chapter in humanity. So the question is, based on what we are telling you, are you all right with that?